Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boschman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take a look at the full moon that's coming up on September 29th. We're going to take a look at each individual life path number and the forecast that this full moon could bring forth. Before we do that, this, of course, is a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading where we'll take a deep dive into your own numerology chart or forecasts, just book some time with me. I would love to work with you. The information for my website and to book is in the description box below. All right, let's get into it. Life path number 8. So for this full moon, you are actually working with your own energy. You are in an 8 cycle, and you're also working with the energy of the Roadrunner for your animal wisdom message. So I kind of love this, right? So for the Roadrunner, this is sort of like Knight of Swords kind of energy. This is a very fast-moving energy, and it's very much about getting clarity, being very sort of very intentional about what it is that you invest your energy into, right? And there's also kind of like this energy of courage and action. So this full moon, which is also happening in the sign of Aries, right? Which is about, self-awareness, like being self-driven, taking an initiative, going after what you want, being very, again, self-aware, can be a little impulsive as well, but there's a strong confidence to Aries energy, right? And so I really do think at this full moon, with Aries energy that we're all working with, but then the Roadrunner coming through, there's something that you are meant to get started on, take an initiative, go after, where you have to find your courage, right? Like you have to find your confidence from within in order to sort of get started. And that's not necessarily an easy feat, right? Like especially if it's something that you feel a lack of confidence in or whatever the case may be. But this energy around this full moon is really sort of giving you the push. Obviously, you're the one that has to take the first step, but there's definitely this like call for action, but that's going to require your courage, your sort of to muster up that confidence, to take the first step, to say yes, even if it scares you. And that can be something where, it's creative or it's a relationship and taking it to the next level or whatever the case may be. Or it can just be like with your own inner work, whatever. But there's definitely something here where it's kind of like maybe you've been putting it off, but this full moon is like, it's go time. This is when we do it. And really, like, full moons can sometimes be about completion or endings, but I kind of see it like this ending of you holding yourself back. So no more holding yourself back in this area that really needs you to commit to whatever it is. That needs you to show up, right? And show up with your confidence intact. Now, again, right? Confidence comes through repetition, right? So it's kind of like, we can't just be confident out of the gate. We have to kind of work towards that, right? But we can't get confident if we don't do the steps to get there, right? Like we can't gain the confidence if we don't become the expert at whatever it is. And in order to do that, we have to take the steps. We have to take the first step, then the second, then the third. We have to trip a few times, fall down a few times, and then get back up, et cetera, et cetera. So, it's a process to confidence. But it's not going to happen if we don't get started. And so I do think for you all, there's definitely this energy of releasing whatever it is that's holding you back from stepping into this, whatever this is for you. Now, again, you got your own energy you're working with in this cycle. So it's going to highlight where it is that needs your attention when it comes to your life path energy, right? So your life path is an 8. So, it's all things in the material plane: power, money, resources, status, influence, contracts as well, that sort of thing, integrity, as well as some level of spirituality, right? So if there's some area where you are struggling, you don't have confidence in, or you have negative mindsets around or self-limiting belief systems. So again, think money, resources, power, status, success, business, any of those things, integrity, spirituality. You could see that the pressure is really being put on you at this time to address whatever that is, to face it, to move through it, to figure it out. So let's just use money, because that is oftentimes a big sort of energy that the eights work with. If you have limiting belief systems or an unhealthy relationship to money, then you could see some things come up around this time to confront you with whatever that is, right? And sometimes that can be really uncomfortable, but when you face it, move through it, transmute it, and release it, or then it's less scary, right? Then you gain confidence in that area because you've faced it, moved through it, etc. So I do think that there's definitely going to be something like that comes up for you around this time that's saying, you don't have to be fully confident in this to be able to do it, right? Is it going to be perfect? No, but what in life really is perfect? So just get started. Just take the first step. And with Roadrunner, Roadrunner probably will bring in this energy of Aries, right? Which is like very quick moving energy. Again, it's very impulsive. It's like that very assertive type energy. It's very confident, right? So there's definitely something here where you need a little bit more confidence. You need a push type thing to stand up, stand out, etc. Get started. And I think you could see that come through at this time. You could also see some things come in around your career, like things picking up really quickly. Again, this is a full moon, so it could bring some closures, some things closing out. But then I think you're going to see, because you've got Roadrunner, you've got this Aries energy, and your own 8 energy, I think you could see some things that might close out, but then things move in really, really quickly, right? It's kind of like something needs to close out so that this other thing can just like take off and excel at like an accelerated rate. So you could see things that have been moving kind of slowly really pick up in a big way over the couple of weeks following this full moon. But you have to say yes to it. That's the key. So if something presents itself to you and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not like ready. I haven't had enough experience. I'm not the master, blah, blah, blah. You're delaying that process. Like whatever this is wants to move forward at an accelerated rate. But what's going to stop it, what's putting the brakes on, is your own self-doubt or your own sort of like lack of confidence. So there's definitely something here about whatever this is wants to take off. It wants to take flight, but it needs you like you're the pilot of whatever this is. So you're putting the brakes on. You need to release the brakes and like say yes to whatever this is and just get started. Just get started. Okay. So I hope it is a powerful full moon for you all 8s. Take care. Bye for now.